in a DC game. Let's fucking go. Welcome to another Snyder Fans Read Comics. I'm your host, Claudia Plays. Let me bring on my co-host at this time, Comics League.
Hello, ladies and gents.
Hello. And Pika says, hey, I'm here. Welcome, Pika. Welcome.
What's up, bro?
And if you guys want questions or anything, I have put like a thing where you can donate or tip me, and questions will be answered straight away.
All
Anyway,
let's get to work.
Let's get to work. And I guess you're tired.
Nah, I just got off a long shift at work, so there you go. All right, let's do this. So, So Justice League issue 16. Now, previously on Justice League, Atlantis has invaded the surface world. That's all you got to know there.
Yeah.
So then we get a little bit of like narration by Volko talking about like Atlanteans, and then we also see like Cyborg booms in to get Dr. Shin. You'll remember him from the Aquaman movie.
Yes.
And saves him, but they're also under attack by the Drift, which are essentially Atlantean special forces. And they showed up in like, I think they were in Justice League Throne of Atlantis, I believe. But then what we actually have here is that Atlantis, so Aquaman is actually defending his brother against the surface dwellers, because it's like, he's like, no, I'll handle this my own way. This is my own thing. Plus, if you attack my brother Orm, the entire Atlantean army is going to show up. And so then so then the group is attacked, and we basically get Aquaman versus the DC Trinity.
Yes.
They have a little battle, and what's kind of interesting, Diana goes, Aquaman goes, I'm trying to protect both worlds, and Diana's like, yeah, if the Amazons invaded and I had to choose, I would be fighting with my friends, not against them. And they have a battle. Aquaman gets like knocked back by Wonder Woman, and then Orm knocks him back, and then we see the entire Atlantean invasion force, and we've got like walkers, special ops guys, warships. You could say it's a War of Atlantis.
That's an old man Nick. That's an old man Nick joke.
I had to. I'm wearing a Phoenix Press shirt. It allows the puns to flow through me. So then we get so Cyborg is injured and by the Drift, and then he escapes with Dr. Shin. Superman and Wonder Woman fight against the Atlanteans, and I love this. So Superman freaking blasts the water with his heat vision and turns it to steam, and then he's like, retreat. But the other thing I like about this is, look at the suit. You can kind of see the lines of the armor. No, it's the suit, like glowing as if it's channeling from his actual
I thought that was solar flare.
No. Solar flare comes later. Plus, if he were doing the solar flare, he would lose all of his powers temporarily. Because what the solar flare does, what they reveal later on in Superman, and maybe we'll cover that one day, is it just expends all the built-up solar radiation he has in his cells already. So he's like relatively powerless for a short time.
So
then, yeah, exactly. So then, essentially, Orm essentially uses his trident to like cause a lightning storm to come down, and obviously, if it's a lightning storm, it like into water, that's not a good thing. And then Wonder Woman and Superman and Aquaman are like shocked. And I like how they kind of do the cartoony shocked into a skeleton look.
Yeah.
And then they're gathered up in like whirlpools. And hang on. Technical difficulties, folks. I will fix that in 1 second.
You'll fix that now.
Yes, exactly. I will fix that now. Right. Yeah, the DCU app has been like messing up as of late. All right, here we go. So then let me go. Let me do this right here. So then so it's essentially now Orm goes, okay, so now we're going to like to full on invade now that Earth's guardians are dead. And it's at that point that so first Cyborg goes, okay, Dad, remember those like underwater upgrades you wanted to give me, even though it would replace my one human lung? I kind of need you to do that so I can go save the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
So then we also get they essentially put the call out to like other superheroes going, hey, temporarily welcome to the Justice League. Black Lightning, Zatanna, Gold Rush, Black Canary, Firestorm, Element Woman, Black Lightning, Green Arrow, Hawkman. By Element Woman, her debut was in Flashpoint. So that's kind of interesting how they throw that in there. And then it's the end of the Justice League. Then we cut to Shazam, and we get all of the deadly sins show up. They start killing people, and then Black Adam fights Shazam, knocks him about. This is kind of okay. So in the Shazam movie where he's fighting Dr. Sivana, that was supposed to be against Black Adam. Imagine if we got that.
Yeah,
that would be kind of interesting. And so then essentially the way he escapes, again like in the movie, Shazam calls down the lightning, turns back into Batson, and then runs and hides. And then we get some variant covers like the penciled version of the previous of the first cover, the more colored version. I forget who did the artist for that, but Throne of Atlantis. The blank cover that you would bring to like a comic book artist and they could do a sketch cover, and we are done. So what did you think of issue 16?
I really loved it. I really loved the artwork. I really loved the story.
Ivan Reyes is a good artist.
And you know what's really cool about this was the Atlanteans taking on Super Wonder. And
yeah, isn't that interesting?
It's interesting to see how Diana and Superman and Aquaman fighting against each other in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's you kind of see Aquaman fighting Superman, and that's kind of a fight I never knew we needed to see. But it's interesting how that works out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, what would you rate this issue, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I would give it probably a 9.5 out of 10. Solid action, great writing by Jeff Johns. I enjoy the art by Ivan Reyes, as I said before. I like Aquaman fighting the Justice League and holding its own, because it's kind of like it's kind of like when you go back and you look at like how Aquaman was a joke. They're like, there's no way Aquaman could fight Superman. Oh no, Aquaman is actually a badass.
Sorry. Yeah, Aquaman is a badass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing too, why didn't they put this in the movie? In the animated movie?
This they kind of did, but they didn't do the whole, because remember they changed Throne of Atlantis to be the Aquaman origin story instead of just like Aquaman's on the Justice League and it's just a story featuring him.
But the whole fighting between them would have been so cool.
Between Superman, yeah, I know. I wish they did that, but WB is not exactly like known for good ideas. So,
I wish we could have asked Sam Liu about that.
mm-hmm,
That would be a really good question to ask him.
mm-hmm.
But like my really downside to it though is the whole Shazam thing.
Yeah, I don't like the Shazam backups, and they're so forgettable. Hence, like two times
Yeah.
ago, I kept forgetting to read them because it's like I don't really. I'm not a big fan of it. I think that it's kind of. Don't get me started about how WB Animation dropped the ball. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I kind of did. It's just like to get back to my previous point, I don't like it when they put in backups, honestly, because it's like that's just a way to sneak a character in that can't sell a book, and I get that, but it kind of disrupts the story because I'm like reading this and I'm like, wait, where did this come from?
Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
I think what Warner Brothers needs to look at now is maybe do like an Elseworld thing and maybe retelling these stories.
Huh? That's
But
kind of what they're doing, I think.
the thing is, don't do it in the style of My Adventure with Superman or I wouldn't mind the Cape Crusader style, right?
Maybe, yeah, and if that's popular, we could probably get more from that style.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Um, but for me, this issue was a straight solid 8.5 or a 9 out of 10, right? The downside, obviously, is Shazam. And I think if Jim Lee came back and continued to do the drawing, I
Mm-hmm.
think it would have made the issue a 10 out of 10 for me
Mm-hmm. Okay, I could see that.
because Jim Lee's artwork is unmatchable.
Yeah,
Like
he's not going to be on the book anymore for the remainder of the series.
that bums me out.
At this point, he was getting really busy being an executive at DC.
Do you think that
No,
Damian Wayne? No, no, no,
no.
no.
They tried to screw around with his parentage in Justice League Unlimited with that stupid epilogue episode, but I'm like, no. Will Terry McGinnis being no. I don't know yet,
By the way,
honestly, because we're still in the modern day DC in terms of the new direction verse.
oh, you're talking about by the
That's
way,
what I
that's movie.
think movie theater is talking about.
Yeah, movie theater king is. Yeah, I think movie theater king is talking about that. I think.
Who else you got?
Um. Oh, Pika says I watched both episodes 4 and 5.
Yeah,
I must ask, why do we need to go through so much cringe to get something actually interesting?
well, because these people have no idea what to do. It's strange. I'm just like I'm
At
not
least you like,
really.
at
Yeah, go
least
ahead.
you did, at least you did like episode 4 going in the right direction, if you know what I mean.
I know. They were so close. I don't think they're gonna go through with it because I'm like, all I want is for them to break up, but that's not going to happen because WB hates me.
What might end up happening is we might get Batman or Wonder Woman. Just saying, and maybe they'll
They
introduce the Trinity.
again, they said that they're not gonna be able to use Batman.
God damn it!
Because people have asked about it, but they're like, "Yeah, WB won't allow it." I think
Hey,
that kind of what's up. That kind of tells you how confident they are about My Adventure with Superman. Isn't that funny?
yeah, but like I'll say this right. If any inspiration for my adventure with Superman needs to take from, it should be from New 52 easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the storylines that the New 52 told were really up there, right? And not many people say
Oh, cool. Thank you,
and
Antonio.
thank you, Antonio. I appreciate that. Be sure to feel free to like and share the stream with your friends and let them know that I'm streaming. So let them know. Say that Teladia Plays is streaming on YouTube and on Twitter. Sorry, Twitter. And we are you know, we are talking about comics, and sorry, I'm out of it today. I'm a bit spaced out.
It's all good. We all have those moments.
But yeah, I'm talking about comics, and we're talking about different things in DC. But but yeah, Jared, what was your disappointing things about this comic? If I didn't get that chance to ask you that.
Disappointing, probably that the fight between the fight just resolved all of a sudden without like any. It just ends way too fast. I think
Yeah,
personally.
agreed. I th- I would have to agree with you there. It's still cool. It's still a cool panel, right? Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool panel that we got a shot of Aquaman and Superman and Wonder Woman fighting and whatnot. But Batman being the bad the bad MF that he is, right? Walking up to Orm and saying, "You're destroying such and such and such," and even though Aquaman warned him off not to, because
Mm-hmm.
that's because he's Batman.
Yeah, exactly. He knows how they got rid of Batman first, because it's like, oh no, he's the most dangerous one.
And Batman has a contingency plan.
I know he does. He does. Even though Bat is BS.
Yeah. So, if you got any questions about the comic, feel free to put them in the chat, guys, for issue 16. Myself and Jared will answer them for you because we did recently read that. Movie to King says art style is coming along all right for me. I'm writing another among other things. I enjoy your streams a lot. Thank you, Movie Theater King. Thank you.
It's so sweet. We try. We
Yeah.
try.
Um. Um. But yeah, like I mean, this is just like a great way to talk about. I think what we should talk about is to compare the first half of Throne of Atlantis of the movie
Okay.
and compare it to the comics that we've covered
Yeah.
so far.
So once again, the reason I get why, for one thing, they wanted to like have Throne of Atlantis be the introductory arc to Aquaman as a character and not have him be on the Justice League. I just think if you're adapting specific comics, some things you can change, but team lineup shouldn't be changed. Definitely should not be changed, because again, it's like I'm not a fan of Shazam in that being a founding member of the Justice League. I would have much rather had it be Arthur.
Yeah.
And then it's essentially what I kind of see from that is the rest of it is pretty good. They get the gist of the story, and that's the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't change like a ton, at least from what I can remember, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they stayed faithful to. I wish they stayed faithful to the comic in
Mm-hmm.
some way, shape, or form. Right? Yes, I know they wanted to do the Aquaman origin thing, but they kind of I don't know how to explain it. It just felt weird, right? You
Mm-hmm.
had Shazam already on the Justice League team and now Aquaman, right? It just didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um Pika says they only adapted the comic in the third act of the movie and the rest was Orm in the comic and Orm in the movie are like twins who are separated at birth. Okay, that's an interesting um the way to describe it, Pika.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might be right, but you know, um, like I said, I just think the way the way the way things are, like I just feel like the comic outmatches the what's it called?
Mm-hmm.
The animated movie. Uh Iro Prods products, welcome my dude. Hope you're well. It says they probably want to establish Cyborg and I can't even pronounce it. Cyborg and Shazam bromance early, but they did nothing after 2 movies. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It didn't really work out there. It arguably was kind of forced in the comics, but at least at least they gave it some establishment.
yeah, like at least they gave him some establishment, but I think if I was doing the AMU style, I would just straight up do one-to-one comic adaptations, right?
Yeah, exactly. And put the right lineup in there. Again, I know why they did it that way, but I'm like, no, I'm not interested. I mean, I prefer Wonder Woman to be Aquaman, and Wonder Woman. I prefer the lineup to be the way it was in the comic, because you're adapting. First off, you're adapting Justice League War essentially. Adapt Justice League War the way it was.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
It's crazy that the fact that they didn't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pika says only John Henry Irons had made a cameo in Atlantis for attacked Metropolis instead of Boston like in the comics. Spoilers for the following. Oh, okay, Pika. But yeah, I already knew the movie, so I know what you're talking about in the movie. So, but Jared, like I've got to ask you this, right? If they did a one-to-one adaptation of the DC New 52 universe, right? Do you think it would have sold gangbusters in numbers?
Probably not, and here's why. Because those DVDs barely ever sell really well. It's not a matter of adapting it and it will sell better. It's really just like it's really just like if you're gonna adapt a comic, just adapt it because you're adapting someone else's work. That's it. Just do that.
Yeah, like adapt it, get it out there. I think this is a question Sam Liu I would have asked him. It's like if you could do or redo Throne of Atlantis or the New 52 animated universe, would you do a one-to-one adaptation and be faithful to the comic? That I know that's a tough question, but it's a question nonetheless, right? Not Pika says not to mention the comic had Aquaman helping Batman to stop Scarecrow Man, which was Batman responding without the attitude. In the comic, Green Lantern did the same, but Batman was a jerk to him. So, yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's interesting, very interesting to say the least. But guys, if you got any more last comments or questions we want to talk about before we switch gears, because there is other topics that have got planned out, and it's not only comics we're going to cover. We are going to be talking about DCU, and we're going to be talking about other comics too that Jared filled me in on in the group chat.
Yes, exactly.
So if you got any last comment or questions, put them in the chat now, and before we switch gears and do the dee. If you know what, Jared. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes, and then we'll switch gears. But in the meantime, I'll do this. I'll do the transition. There we go. All right. So let's talk about what do you want to start off with, Jared? Absolute Power, or do you want to start on James Gunn's DCU?
Whichever you want to start with, Talia, you're the host.
You're the co-host, remember, so you do get a say in this.
All right, let's go with Absolute Power then. So let me bring up the article. So again, we got some more information on Absolute Power, specifically that's being eyed to be released in, according to Bleeding Cool. Again, that's a big if, because Bleeding Cool is not known for quality reporting. According to Rich Johnson, they're gonna announce the DC Absolute Universe at San Diego Comic-Con. And what's interesting is that they're launching with like a small comic that you can get for at San Diego Comic-Con. And apparently, so essentially what it is that, yeah, they're launching an absolute universe. They are it is a side universe, and all the books in the absolute universe will be one continuity. So 100% is the DC Ultimate Universe. And I believe, now what's interesting about this, what I looked at it is that it's called absolute. So it's called the Absolute Universe. Now, here's the other interesting thing
sorry.
here is,
Let me correct that. Sorry. Thanks for thing.
yeah, because Absolute Power is an upcoming DC event that's actually flopping in terms of pre-orders, but who knows at this point.
Sorry, guys, technical difficulty. That's my fault.
It's all good. I'll continue. What's interesting about this is, like, apparently they may be shuffling creatives to this, because it says here Absolute Power is only one prong of Scott Snyder. We're referring to it as DC All In, a larger initiative that aims to spotlight DC's entire lineup. So this is the thing after Dawn of DC, which is DC All In. Apparently they want to highlight all the characters. As Teeny Howard notes, a lot of creators are finishing their runs in September or October, looking for something big in October, November. There will not be a reboot or even a relaunch of the main line. That will remain intact, and continuity will continue. But Absolute Power will be a line of radically reworked versions of well-known DC characters from major comic creators in the fashion of Marvel's Ultimate line, separate in continuity from the rest of DC, but sharing its own internal continuity. Okay, so we know that. We know that.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, like, yeah, a lot of comics are essentially like, I'm wondering if, does this mean that, like, if a lot of creators are ending their runs in September, October, does that mean that Tom King is going to be ending his crappy Wonder Woman run and then going over to the Ultimate line? That would be very nice. I would really appreciate that, because he can't handle one in continuity book. Imagine multiple.
Yo, what's up, Kojak?
What's up, Kojak?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you this, Jared, because I think this is a very interesting question. If they announced, when they announced the San Diego Comic-Con, the Absolute Universe, right? Do you think they'll have like, Batman comics, Superman comics, Supergirl comics?
Yeah. There's going to be a couple. I know there are a couple of characters that are going to be the first to get their books. I'm not going to say them on here because I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah.
But there will be an lineup of books, from what I hear.
Okay.
So they're going to start small and work their way up, kind of like Dawn of DC did.
That's really cool.
So you're not like inundated with like a crap ton of number ones, and you're like, what do I buy? So
this is basically how the New 52 started off, right?
Except they're launching less titles, because remember, with the New 52, when it launched, they launched 52 new titles.
Oh wow! So
it's going to be a little more condensed now, and it is like the New 52 in that they're radically reinventing characters. Now, will it last? That's the gamble. That's the question. Now, I'm sure you're going to ask me, what is this going to be different? Well, I don't know exactly what's going on with the universe. What I can suggest is that if there are a couple of things they could do to radically change it, like not have Superman with Lois, have him with Wonder Woman. I know if it's possible, do some stuff with Batman, do some stuff with Wonder Woman. They're gonna make some change, because here's the thing about the Ultimate Universe, I'm gonna call it the Ultimate Universe for DC. DC's Ultimate Universe is that they can do stuff with this line that they would never be able to get away with in the main continuity. Like, absolutely not. They couldn't do this. So again, it's possible that we could be getting the power couple back. It just depends on if they want to pull the trigger on that. But who knows at this point? It's DC. They're not known for taking advantage of great opportunities. Yeah, exactly. It was fun for a moment. The ones that stuck around were great. But so what do you think, Taladia?
I'm just excited because um um like what intrigues me the most, what intrigues me the most is the fact that we could be getting a Superman comic with no undies. Maybe not, but
Don't be
that's
so
what
sure, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'm just saying. If they do that,
We could, but I wouldn't count. I wouldn't count on it because a lot of creatives are like of the no. Superman has to be this way no matter what. So I'm very much doubting that. With Superman, some creatives are a little pissy.
yeah. But like, who would you put as the head of Superman or Batman?
I think if I remember, they already have a couple of creatives in mind to lead this. Again, I'm not sure if this is public information, so I'm not exactly gonna
No. Don't need
go
to put it
into
out
that.
there. But
But
but but if you could choose someone,
well, Charles Sewell would obviously be in charge of Superman. Maybe. Hmm.
and that's a hard question, but I wanted to
It's a
ask you.
hard question. Scott Snyder on Batman, obviously.
Yeah.
Probably if for Wonder Woman, that's an interesting question because there's definitely not Tom King. Maybe Jason Aaron. Maybe. I wish I could write an overseas Superman stories. Get in line, dude. That would be me. Get in line.
Get in line. Yeah, Koji is a big Superman fan, so and he's a big Zack Snyder fan, by the way. Koji is just saying,
Mm-hmm.
huge Zack Snyder fan. So if you guys,
You have good taste, my good sir.
so if you aren't subscribed to Koji, please go check him out on YouTube. He's at Koji on YouTube. He does great stuff. But yeah, back to DC Absolute Universe. I would say Grant Morrison and Charles Soule for Superman.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Ira Brooks says I would put Charles Sewell and Frank Miller's an interesting choice if he would come
That's
back to DC.
that I can
I'm
see.
not sure about Frank Miller because here's the problem with Frank. He tends to go a little overboard if you put him in charge of something. Hence Dark Knight 2.
Or Superman Year One.
Superman Year 1 was not that bad. They needed another issue. Reportedly, they were planning another issue. So I'm like, yeah, he would exactly, Pika. He would need a co-writer that could tell him no.
Yeah.
Essentially, like it's like how like the best Dark Knight book we got, arguably, is Dark Knight 3 because he was co-writing with Brian Azzarello. It would be hilarious if they just bring back the exact same creative teams from the new 52 to run these. That would be great. That would be absolutely hilarious. So I could go, it's new 52. 2.
Koji by the way, Koji makes some interesting comments, right? Yes, sir, I love the Snyderverse, but Superman is a huge love of mine. The whole Kryptonian world.
Same here, bro. Same here, bro.
I'm not sure Frank Miller's as he's not a great Superman fan, lol, in my opinion. But
again, that's why he needs like that's why he needs someone to say no.
To oversee things, yeah. Definitely. But yeah, so Absolute Universe is gonna be interesting. Comic-Con, myself, Jared, the Phoenix Press, Jay Heat if it's available, if he's ever available, that is. We'll be reacting to it once they fully announce it, if it's announced. Is that okay with you, Jared?
Yeah. Jeff Loeb for Superman. That's not bad. That's actually not a bad choice. Jeff Loeb like wrote the comic Taladia for like Superman, Batman, Apocalypse. Just so you know who Jeff Loeb is.
Yeah, I've heard of Jeff Loeb. I know he did the Batman, the Long Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yeah, he did. Him and Tim Sale. He also
Okay.
did Batman Hush.
Really? That's something I did not know. So
There
that's
you
something
go.
I've learned something new today. Thank you, Jared.
No problem. Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee. Yeah, I got a Pika.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting July. I can just tell you that right now. Because July is Comic Con, right?
July is Comic Con, I believe. So yeah, we'll know a lot more information as it relates to like the absolute universe as we approach that area more.
Yeah. But what I was gonna do is let's do a transition because I think we've talked a lot. We talked a lot about DC's absolute power. So let's do it. Transition, please.
Hmm?
And we are gonna be talking about where is it? Oh, DCU. I gotta find it. Hold on, let me just change that. Uh, James Gunn's Daily Planet.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm like, it's a generic thing. I get it. It's just the Daily Planet. It's a generic news place, which yeah, there's not much you can do with the Daily Planet. Apparently, we are going to have the globe on top, so that's
That's
something.
something. That's something. Um, but you know what I was gonna bring up with you is that I pressed it just before Jared said it. But what I was gonna say, the whole Daily Planet. What interests me is that the fact that it's gonna be in different shops promoting it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you said in the group chat, like you don't mind the lettering and the style they've gone with, right? In terms of
It a lot of it does look generic, but I'm not as like okay, fine, because because it's like what else can they do with it? It's that. So I'm like I'm not as like anti it.
I'm not anti it. I'm just interested to see how it looks on film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we've never seen a Daily Planet look like this before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've always had revolving doors and what else did we have? We had the globe on the top of the revolving doors or something like that in Superman and My Adventure. Not my. Why am I saying My Adventure with Superman? I meant to say Superman and Clark and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
the that 90s TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was filmed in Chicago, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So but it seems like Koji makes a great point. Seems like a revamp of the DC show Powerless. But I don't know where we've seen where like I don't know what we've seen already been there.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know though is from James Gunn's Daily Planet is are we gonna get a full blown like a helicopter scene, like a helicopter image, right? Of the
Yeah,
daily
shot. Yeah,
like
probably. I would imagine so. At some point, well, I think the globe will be added in digitally, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Koji actually makes a good point. I'd rather we check on what's with the Green Lantern Corps, like on planets, DC Legion of Superheroes or Lanterns to push the Star Trek like adventures. They're probably gonna have the Lanterns fulfill that role. The problem with the Legion is that I get the thing they're gonna stick to like regular timelines. In other words, like the current timeline because they're already doing like Elseworlds and stuff. But I'm like, you can't really go too crazy with the alternate timelines because you're gonna check out the general audience. I already think James Gunn is doing too much, and it's gonna make the general audience check out.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I do think that James Gunn is cramming in too much. Like, no offense to James Gunn, I understand what he's trying to do, but cramming in too much things can be,
Mm-hmm.
too. too bad for thing. Koji said, gotta get back to work. Had to check in. We'll catch the replay. Love the show, guys. Keep killing it.
No problem.
Koji, thank you very much for being a part of the stream.
And I have
Interacting.
I just subscribed to Koj, so you got another sub, sir.
So subscribe to Koji. Make sure you do go check out his latest stuff on whether it's political, non-political, and he's doing a watch party for Zoo Ranger. He's done Zoo Ranger watch parties and whatnot with the Bat Channel and the Super Bro Corey. So check them out. Check that out as well. Anyway, but yeah, I think the way James Gunn is doing things, he's just cramming everything in one big film and not actually fleshing out the characters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would do, right? Do a Superman film, focus on Superman and the Superman mythos, like the characters revolving around Superman, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Martin Park Kent, Jor-El, and have that there, right? And then villains, you could have Lex Luthor, Bizarro, Livewire, Metallo. You could do those characters, and it would work.
Yeah, you could.
Koja says, "Thanks for the sub. Too kind."
Anytime, dude. Anytime.
But yeah, like I just wonder if the trailer is gonna pop off.
Yeah, because again, that's the thing. I think that if the trailer doesn't perform well, then we can get really concerned. However, if the trailer picks up, then you know what? Maybe we could get people to show up. It just depends on the trailer. I still think not a lot of people are going to show up. By the way, Ira Prodic has a good point. Superman needs a George Perez style scorched earth hard reboot. Yes, arguably all of DC needs a hard reboot at this point. Particularly Wonder Woman after the travesty that was Tom King.
Wonder Woman was trending today, by the way.
Yeah, I know, because they released another issue and people have it like, and of course the shipper showed up and go, oh my gosh, they're putting it with Cheetah. And I'm like, no, they're not. Nothing in that issue was romantic. So you guys are reading into it.
I thought it was for something else. You and I know what that's about.
Do we?
Yes, but we can't exactly say it, innit? Because we don't want to get the stream taken down.
Put it in the private chat. So yeah, that's probably the other reason why it was trending. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But I'll say this. I just think I'm going to give James Gunn the opportunity. I'm going to make this a public statement. I'm giving James Gunn an opportunity to basically prove me wrong and say, look, I'm making a great Superman film, right?
Yeah. If he does it, great. If it's good, if it's a good Superman movie, I'll be the first to tell you it's good. If it's bad, you better believe I'm gonna bring his ass to the fire.
Yeah, you better believe that we're both gonna say something about it. We're huge Superman fans. Both of us are. Me and Jared. I'm Superman Prime and he's Superman New 52. So, but I just think, I agree with you, Iron Pro. I think a George Perez style new reboot needs to happen.
Yeah, definitely needs a hard reboot, an actual hard reboot. Not what they do with the New 52.
Yeah. Iron Prod says instead of being an old woman, Lois Lane, she should be married. Should be married to the Super Wonder of Earth 3. She can fix her and be an icon. Randy said, welcome, Randy. Hopefully you're well. Says, so they don't like Wonder Woman with Superman, but they have no problem with her being with Cheetah. WTF?
I know, isn't that that's what Britt and I are talking about. By the way, here's the untold truth. Here's the thing. They're never gonna put Wonder Woman. And see, here's the thing. Yes, some writers have said that Wonder Woman comes from an island of only women. You do the math. However, DC editorial and probably WB has the decree that Wonder Woman is straight because that's the most marketable way that she is. That's the way it works with these companies. They're not going to do that. Particularly, they're not going to put Wonder Woman with an anthropomorphic cheetah that has eaten people and killed Aphrodite, the goddess of love. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, definitely. Um. Uh. But yeah, I just think it's weird. I just find it weird that Wonder Woman is trending. For the wrong reasons, by the way.
Except for the one reason that you and I know but can't talk about.
Yeah.
It's the one good reason.
One good reason. Pika says I've said about the Red Sun movie. It would have been made more sense to have Wonder Woman become.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Okay, that would have worked. Yeah, but I think there's a fan made Red Sun film being made, isn't there?
There might be. Hang on, I'll look that up.
Because I know Dave was talking about that on stream yesterday.
There might be. I'm looking that up right now. Yeah, there's actually already one out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a couple of them out. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, just Google Superman Red Sun fan film. It'll pop up.
Oh, okay. I see it now. I see it. Pika's saying, does it have the timeline?
I have no idea. I've never watched them.
Okay. But guys, I know it's kind of a short stream. I know because Jared's got a lot of other things to do and he's got a busy day tomorrow, so we kind of got to, and I've got to do a lot of other things too on my end because I've got real life stuff to deal with and all this different stuff. But before we wrap up, I want to give you guys the opportunity to ask me a couple of questions. If you guys got questions you want to ask me and Jared, it can be about the comic or it can be about YouTube. Any advice you want me to give you guys, we can give you guys. You only get one question, and then we're gonna wrap up, and then Jared and I will do our outros.
Yep. So go ahead. Anything you want to ask us within reason.
Within reason, yes. So while we'll let you guys type that out, Jared, this was a fun stream today, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was good. I really enjoyed the issue of Justice League that we did.
It was very entertaining and very insightful as well because I learned something new. I did not know Jeff Lowe made a Superman comic.
Well, Superman, Batman, and he did Batman Hush.
Oh yeah. So that's something insightful. But there will be something that me and Jared will be doing in the future, and we will be covering action comics in the future. That is gonna be happening, guys. I have got the set in my in my computer desk, so we can talk about it, and Jared can put it up on screen and whatnot. We can have a good discussion about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like nobody had any questions. So
all right, we must have been very insightful.
Yeah, I think we must have been very, very insightful. So, Jared, let's do our outros. Let the people know where you're coming from on your channel, and also let them know about what projects you got coming up and all that good stuff.
Well, tomorrow I have my How to Fix Lois Lane video. Yes, I'm tackling that topic. And movie night this week is going to be Blue Beetle. And in terms of Under Two Capes, I'm still thinking about what I want to do. Super Wonder Legacy. Britt and I are going to be talking about how DC doesn't understand Superman. So there is that. And besides that, yeah, not that much else besides showing up on this guy's channel.
Don't you have a gaming stream?
And yes, we have a gaming stream. We're going to be playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey as usual, basically role playing as Wonder Woman.
So the Wonder Woman role playing stream is Thursday.
Thursday, yes, at 3:30.
Okay. As for me on my channel, guys, you guys know I've got like comic book. Well, I will be doing more content in terms of videos. I might even do like a video about Arkham Shadow if I can get enough information on that. If not, then probably I'm going to be on Jared's channel and Jayhe's channel where we discuss latest stuff and all that good stuff. I might hop on other people's channel like Chainsaw Reacts if he's available, as we talked to like he's doing this thing, community thing or whatnot. So we'll be doing that, and who else do I owe a collab with? Oh, that's right. I owe somebody a collab, so I can't remember who it was, but I owe somebody a collab, and I'm also going to be on MME International or MME because I'm going to be talking about the latest news from comic books, geek world, all that stuff, and it's going to be very interesting. And tomorrow is the Acolytes. I believe the Acolytes is tomorrow, Jared, isn't it?
Should be, yeah.
So the Acolytes tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a watch along with Max and them as we not react. What's the word? But while we react to it and have a discussion about it. So on that note, I've been your boy Taladia Plays. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that's there at Taladia Plays _. You guys can check me out there. And also, if you want to become a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because when a video or a live stream that I do that I post online, you will be notified for that. And if you're watching this on Twitter, come over to the YouTube. It's at Taladia Plays. Come over here, and this is the place where all the good stuff happens. And if you become a member, if you want to become a member, you can become the help me out. Want to do the extra mile? You can become a member from 99 cents or 99 pennies to $4.99, and there's exclusive perks including members only panels, and also you'll be able to do collaborations with me and play video games and all that stuff, and even exclusive Discord server too. So there's also that. So on that note, Jared, let the people have the final word of tonight's stream.
What is it I always say? Ah, yes. Lois Lane is Lois Lame. She belongs with General Zod. Zois and Max about for life. See you later.
All right, we're out of here, guys. Peace out.